Hey! I'm so used to this. I'm Boopit. I speak for the nose, and welcome back to the Boopit Show. If you don't know who I am, well, I just said who I was. And this channel is a new channel where I post music and yap about things. And I decided I want to talk about one of my favorite horror movies ever. And this horror movie, as the title says, fails at being, well, it fails to make the villains villains. Let me explain. My favorite horror movie is Christine, and the main thing about it is that, spoiler warning for a movie from a 40-year-old movie, alright? I don't even know why I'm giving a disclaimer. The movie is mainly about, well, some guy named Arnie, and he's not the best. I mean, he's just an average person that you would see in a high school that would get bullied for looking like a nerd. And the second character is like his friend. I don't know what his name is. He just exists, I'm gonna be honest. And he's like a jock. And when it comes to the movie, it just showcases oh, this is his friend, his mother. Well, but it just shows that he's clumsy and whatnot, and his mother is a little always annoyed about Arnie and everything about him. And goodness gracious, my phone went off. Anyway, so annoyingly, he gets bullied relentlessly by some obvious Stephen King level of bully that brings it. Well, for some reason he decides to bring a knife to school. Mind-boggling, I know. And long story short, he gets bullied, and his jock friend helps him out. Cool. And one day, when they're just driving around, they drive past what seems to be an old, tore-up red car on the side of the road. They're like, oh my god, sorry. And they decided to make a big ass U-turn and just try to absolutely find this car. And when they do, it's just somewhat hilarious, because actually no, it's more sad, because Christine is absolutely wrecked, bro. Anyway, this is Christine. The main thing, that's the best thing about the movie. And me and my friends watched it. Me and Ocean and my friend Saber watched this together, and we were just in love with the car, right? And here's one of the first problems with the movie: the absolute hatred for Christine in this movie. Not by the filmmakers or by Arnie. Arnie falls in complete love with this car. He loves it. And he wants to buy it. And he wants to buy it so he can have something. Because his parents don't really want him to have things. And mainly so he can have something to be proud of and work towards. Anyway, here's what makes the movie a little interesting and twisted. Not twisted in a bad way, but twisted in what you're expecting. So the jock friend doesn't feel right about buying the car from the old man that has Christine, because I guess he has incorrect vibes or some shit. But Arnie's like, bro, I got money. I mean, it's for college, but I got money and I want the car. And so he gets the car. And his friend doesn't seem to be too happy about it. And Arnie decides that, you know what, I want to take it home. And his parents start immediately hating on him and tell him to get it out of get it out of their house and property and whatnot, because I guess they really hate that car. And that is the trend with every character in this movie. Every character in this movie hates this car, Christine. And every character wants nothing to do with Christine or Arnie. Which, I'm going to be honest, is really sad and depressing, since it's literally one of the best things about the movie. So here's the part that the movie gets interesting. I wouldn't say this is too much of a horror movie. It's more just like a romance drama with some murder in between. If you watch the movie, you know that I'm not wrong. That everything I said was correct. And by the way, I'm doing this in one take because this is a yapping channel, so don't expect me to say something that's completely correct. Alright? Goodness gracious, I'm cooked. Anyway, what happens next is that, well, Arnie is cool now. He's basically now just the cool guy in school, and he fixes up Christine and whatnot. And the thing is that I like is that he's like, when he gets to his cool stage, they try to make him seem evil, with just some of the things he says and how he looks at things. But what it looked like to me and my friends watching was that he was crashing out, and he was like mentally alone, other than this car, because, well, everyone was hating on him and his car. No one liked him, and no one liked Christine. So Christine and him can bond over this craziness. It might be like, what do you mean bond with Christine and she bonds with him? Yeah, this car is alive. I don't know why. They don't really explain it, but she's alive. She's the best character. She's the best character in the movie because I'm going to explain it in a second. You might be asking, is this a horror movie? Because it doesn't seem like it. And the funny thing about the movie is that, like, she goes out and does some killing, but it isn't the standard, like, murder anyone in their sight type of killing. Because, like, what happens is that, like, Christine one day gets one day, Christine gets, like, jealous of Arnie trying to get with this girl that he likes, only because this girl absolutely despises the car. Like, it's a whole other level of generational hate that she has for this car. And Arnie is just like, really depressed from this? And so, like, Arnie, I think he goes out and gets something. I forgot why he left the car. But then Christine was just not having any of it, with respect to the car and Arnie as a person, because Arnie loved this car, and Arnie put all his effort into rebuilding this car from scratch. And oh god, why am I doing this in one take? This is absolutely just this is evil on my end. So when it came to try and kill her, instead of, like, just standing there, just killing her, or, like, I don't know, throwing her around, he decides to try to choke her, like, somehow make her magically choke. I don't know why. It's a great way to make it look like an accident. But after a little bit, Arnie comes back, sees his quote-unquote girlfriend choking, tries to get into the car, but Christine locked it. After a little bit, she finally unlocked it and let him get his girlfriend. Then the girlfriend decided to leave the drive-in movie date, and still disrespected him in his car, and like said something around like, "Hey, if you don't get rid of that car, I'm gonna blah 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 blah." I'm like, bitch. Basically, she literally says she hates. I mean, reasonable, but like, what's the chances that a car actually tries to kill you and tries to choke you to death? but it seemed like a more of a her issue that she was choking. And what happens around this point, or before or after? I don't remember which point. Um, the bullies from earlier in the movie decided to fuck up Christine. It was so bad. They like absolutely tore that shit up, and then some fat boy decided to take a shit on the dashboard. Me and the others hate on him specifically because we didn't say he did, but we know he did. You know what I mean? He looks like that type of person with the shit on the dashboard, you know. And at that point, me and the other people watching this hated every other character. The love interest for Arnie and the jock was just unlikable, and just had generational hatred. And Arnie's friend was just a jock and a bit of an asshole to the female love interest. I mean, he was a good friend. He wasn't even a good friend. He was more of a fake friend than anything else. Now letting Arnie do what he like work on something. He wouldn't let Arnie just be who he wanted to be. He wouldn't let him just like make a project. Because listen, I know some people that went down terrible paths and whatnot. But like, you can give him a little bit of advice of where to go here and there, right? When it comes to someone making a project, you don't just say, "I don't have a bad feeling about this. Don't do this at all. I hate that thing," because it'll make him alienate from you. And his parents were just like dicks. They were just terrible. Like everyone in the movie is just terrible. The thing is, Christine just had enough, so she starts killing the, what was it called? She starts killing the bullies and whatnot. And my God, it's some of the best scenes in the movie. Cool car stunts, and one of my favorite scenes of her on fire chasing him out of a gas station. Oh my gosh, this movie was cool at times. And the thing is, after the fire stunt, Christine comes back while she's a little burned up after her killing spree, and for some reason, the guy that owns the place that Arnie used to storage and break the car up, fix the car up, he decides stupidly to go and sit inside Christine. I have no idea why, and he caused his own downfall. I'm not gonna show what happened, but squishy squish. Now, I know I'm not saying it the best, Mark, but around this point, the dude is saying that there's been a couple bit of deaths around town, and the thing is, one reason that I love Christine and my other friends that we watch with love Christine is that she can talk, not in a typical way, but like Bumblebee from the Michael Bay movies. That she uses music to say what she wants to say. Like earlier on in the movie, when she was jealous of, what was it called, of the quote unquote girlfriend. She didn't want to start up the car when Garner was trying to go home, and Arnie declares his love and care for Christine, and Christine does the same thing in the song that I love, called "I Wonder Why." And to be honest, that is really heartfelt. Like, the movie is really leading into the love story between the car and this man, and this regenerating car, because she can regenerate and shit. But she has some bit of a sense of humor. It's funny that she literally played the song "Bad to the Bone" played in the beginning. So this movie has some level of humor, but it's definitely not what it wants to be. And so, what are my thoughts on Christine? I think it's a really good movie. One of my favorite movies, actually. But they fail at making the villains villains. Instead of making them villains, they seem like sympathetic heroes or sympathetic characters. And I don't hate sympathetic villains or stuff like that. It's just when it comes to that, a movie from Stephen King, when you think of a Stephen King movie, you think of just a crazy villain like villains. But in this one, the main villains were just the bullies. They died at the second quarter of the movie, the second to like almost third quarter of the movie. And so the next person you point to a villain is I guess the two hero characters. But here's the thing: the jock, he's not even there for most of the movie because he got into a because while he was playing football, he saw Arnie and the girl character just making out. He got so distracted that he literally broke his leg. And so for most of the movie, he's just in the hospital, and every so often they cut to him at the hospital with Arnie. And so after a while, just because it has a lot of time jumps, and so the girl character calls the jog, is like, "Hey, can you help me get rid of that car? It's messing with Arnie." Blah 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 blah. He's like, "Okay," and those two basically somehow get I wouldn't even call it a forklift. It was like I'm just gonna show it on screen. I don't know how they got a hold of this. I don't remember how they got a hold of this, but their plan is to use this and ram Christine and break her up, right? Was this movie try to do something where it was like, oh, is Christine being driven by the man, or is it being driven by herself? And I'm like, no one cares. Like, genuinely, no one would care, because even depending on who did the killing, it wouldn't change anything. Mainly because, like, either way, it's gonna be a reasonable crash out. It's either way, it's like reasonable. I mean, killing someone is too far, but I can understand why it would drive you that far, you know. At least for the movie standards, because literally everyone's a hater. And if I would like rate this movie, it would probably be around like an 8 out of 10. Actually, I'll call it a reverse 8 out of 10. Mainly because it's a good movie, but it is a good movie for the reason that they don't want me to think it's a good movie for. And I do love the movie. And I used it for a couple projects at school, and I will say it is very fun. But anyway, that's that out of the way. I'm the Boopit, and this was Boopit Show.